It's hard to believe that for 90% of us, this kind of nonsense is in the rearview mirror. Lighter for longer and warmth all around means that our gardens are bursting, busy prepping all of that beautiful bounty. The one downside though is that spring comes on fast, and if we're not properly prepared, well, we might not get the garden that we hope for. However, every climate is different, and a straight list of what you should plant in any month would be somewhat egregious on my part. So today, I've racked up 7 of my most important tasks that I do every May. 7 activities that are going to propel your garden into summer in the best way possible. There's no way around it. Good gardening is all about timing and preparation. The brutalities of winter tends to throw a monkey wrench in all that fall prep we did, so in some cases, we start over. As is the situation with this never-ending battle with these weeds. Fortunately for us, however, spring is actually the best time to weed your garden, for 2 reasons. 1, even if we don't want them, weeds and other colonizing plants protect our soils during the harshest months of the year, fall and winter. So really, it doesn't hurt to leave them in place. And 2, spring is simply the easiest time to pull them up. Even the most noxious of weeds are removed without much work at all, because generally they have smaller root systems and are much less established. On top of that, we're getting many of these guys before they can go to seed and spread themselves everywhere. Springtime is weeding time, so make it happen. Just as we remove any of those unwanted colonizers, we should also take the time to remove any of the old crops from last year that are still lingering about. Old brassicas, pea shoot vines, tomatoes, and of course pepper plants. Anything that's remaining from last year's garden should definitely be cleared out now. It's simple. They're done, and we need the space for the new crops. Speaking of those new crops, in the background, our indoor seedlings have been quickly growing, patiently waiting. For most climates, May is the month to finally harden these guys off. Growing indoors is great for young plants, as it gives them everything they need. Stable temperatures, moisture, nutrients, and hopefully enough light. Unfortunately for them, however, the party is over, as they need to start getting ready to be planted outside in the garden. For 2 weeks, starting when your outside temperatures consistently stay above 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, gradually bring your seedlings and starters outside. Just a few hours a day at first, preferably on calm, overcast days. Gradually increase those hours per day, as well as exposure to more air motion and more intense light. As we said, it should only take about 2 weeks, and while it is a relatively simple procedure, it's vitally important. The comfy confines of indoor life are radically different than those outside. Even on apparently calm days, the environmental pressures are infinitely more severe out in the garden than they will be inside. Hardening off, we can't skip it. Now, if you're not creating your own starters due to time, space, or maybe a lack of knowledge, May is usually the month that you go to the store and buy them. No doubt you've already seen it. Every grocery store, hardware store, and nursery is gonna be bursting at the seams with 3 and 4 inch starter plants ready to go. Going this route can get pricey, which is why we tend to start our own. But look for deals and possibly multi-plant pots that you can split apart for extra plantings. It's not all bad though, and the one benefit of buying starter plants is that they're already hardened off, ready to plant outside. Because we harden off in May, that also means that we plant in May. If your nighttime lows consistently stay above 55 degrees Fahrenheit and you're beginning to see starter plants at the store, it's generally safe to say you can plant outside. Even tropical summer crops like tomatoes and these peppers here are fair game at this point. Without a doubt, May is the most transformative month for your garden, and it really feels like the start of the growing season in many ways. Make sure to observe all those spacing and depth rules and try to pick the sunniest locations for the crops that need it. Not to be left out, but May also happens to be the biggest month for direct seeding. Corn and peas are the top dogs here as long as those soil temperatures have reached 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you don't know how to measure it, soil temperature is often dictated by your nighttime lows, and that's usually a good benchmark to go by. Also, if you haven't yet seeded your beets, carrots, radishes, or spinach, now is the time to do so. Get them in the ground for those early summer harvests. There's no holding back. We're in full swing now. And for those of you with crops that are already growing, May is also the month to feed all those plants that are eventually going to feed us. Balanced, liquid organic fertilizers do seem to work the best because you can also combine them with your scheduled waterings for ease of application. By no means are we limited though, and we can also amend our soils with compost and dry amendments such as alfalfa meal and rock phosphate. Do note though that early berry producing crops such as raspberries, blueberries, and these strawberries here are not normally fed this late into the spring. Treat feeding and fertilizing just like any other parameter in the garden, on a crop by crop basis. No two are going to be the same, and we need to recognize this to be successful with all of them. All in all, May is a busy month, perhaps the busiest on the calendar. So let's go ahead and recap those 7 May tasks to make sure we got them all. For most of us, our gardens have kicked it into high gear, and as their caretakers, so have we. This list is by no means exclusive, and in May, there's always a ton of stuff to do. So drop your favorite May task down in the comments below, and as always, happy growing, guys, and I'll see you soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. Truly, this channel wouldn't exist without passionate gardeners like you. For even more info-packed videos like this, check out this playlist of garden quickies here. And for those of you that are interested, my online course, Vegetable Gardening Basics, is live and ready for enrollment. As always, happy growing, and I'll see you in the next one.